Hello and welcome to this match review for Southampton's opening day win away at Sheffield Wednesday. The first thing I've got to say is wow. Really wow. I don't think I've ever seen a team pass the ball that much in my entire life, let alone Southampton. It was absolutely surprising. Obviously we came in as hot favourites, but to go out there and play like that was not expected. Now, that's sort of the Russell ball. We all know we wanted to be more possession-based, but 80% is quite outrageous. And honestly, I'm very impressed with how well the players have sort of adapted to his style of play. Obviously, we do have a lot of good technical players, so obviously it could work better with us, but still, in reality, it was ridiculous. I think I saw a stat of we had more passes in the first half than we had in 90 minutes of any game last season. I mean, that basically sums it up, and it's really true. We could not pass five fucking passes in the Prem, even not in the Prem. When we played Grimsby and we lost in the Cup, we still couldn't fucking string together 5 passes. And that's one thing I will say, right? I've seen a lot of where from a lot of people, mostly Sheffield Wednesday people that, I don't know, just like butthurt about it. I don't understand as if we can't celebrate a win. We haven't won since March. It's been 5 months since we last saw a win in a competitive game. So obviously we're going to celebrate. It's the start of a new sort of journey, obviously getting relegated, big expectations for the season. It's a good start, it's a good performance. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's only against Sheffield Wednesday. It's only against Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, you've hit Sheffield Wednesday. Which one is a bit disrespectful to Sheffield Wednesday. They are a championship side, and they, I don't know if they came up through the playoffs, and they came back from 4-0 down, so obviously they're not shit, right? Who the fuck comes back from 4-0 down and wins, right? Not fucking many teams. So clearly they're a good club in that aspect. Maybe, yes, they may struggle in the championship this season, but that's understandable. They're a promoted team. A lot of promoted teams do struggle when they first come up. But in that case, it's sort of just like, you do realise we played Sheffield Wednesday last year. Like, we literally did. It was at St Mary's. It was in the EFL Cup, I do believe. And was it the EFL Cup? Maybe it was the EFL Cup. I can't fuck up. I think it was the EFL Cup, yeah. And we drew, and we were dire. Absolutely shockingly bad. So no, it's not, well, you've just played Sheffield Wednesday. No, it isn't that. It's the improvement of the team in general. When we played Sheffield Wednesday last year, we were atrocious. We drew 1-1 on penalties, I do believe, and we were shocking. In this game, it's a completely different team. Same sort of players, obviously not 100%, but majority of the same players, and it's a completely different game. Completely different. So I think you have to put some respect on what Russell Martin's done. Clearly, the players have bought into the way he wants to play, and clearly he's got it instilled in them. And you got to think, Nathan Jones had 5 weeks after during the World Cup break, right? And the team got worse. There was no identity, no style of play. It was hoofball, mate. It was shit. Russell Martin's had 5 weeks, and it's not the same team. We are a completely different outfit. We got unbelievable amount of confidence. I mean, some of the play was excellent, but to be able to make that play, you have to be brave as fuck. You have to really back yourself to be able to make the right movements, make the right touches, make the right passes, make the right decisions. Hope that your teammate's going to support, he's going to be there. That is unbelievably confident. And he's instilled that within 5 weeks as some of the players that struggle to just function. And I mean, especially sort of the Bednareks of last year, right? Shocking 90% of the time, right? And he was pretty solid. I think, honestly, I couldn't name one player. I can. But I can't name 2 players that weren't genuinely good. And the only reason it's not all of them is because Adam Armstrong wasn't the greatest, right? But he scored. I mean, it was a great header. But with Adam Armstrong, I have to say, it's not his sort of game. Like, in reality, if you think of Adam Armstrong, you're not thinking about a guy who's only stuck in the box when the team's got so much possession. He's not that type of player. He's a player that gets him behind. You can't get him behind a team that is in the box. So I feel as if, yes, he didn't play well, and I was calling for Chams to come on, because I feel like his presence, his physical presence, and I do believe his movement in the box is a lot better. Yes, they both can't shoot, but I mean, they both scored, so maybe not. But with that, I think Adam Armstrong will be a lot better in this system when we don't play teams that are so defensive. And obviously that's going to happen a ton. Obviously, there's not going to be many teams that are going to want to sit back against us. They're going to want to try and press us, which is probably what we want a lot of the time. But he's going to be a much better player in behind. Now, whether he does end up hitting the ground running is a question mark, right? Because obviously his Prem form hasn't been good. Shockingly bad. It's been shockingly bad. It'll be interesting to see how he sort of adapts to the Russell Martin system when we're playing a team that's not so deep. But when we are playing a team like Sheffield Wednesday who decide to go deep, we do want Che Adams in there. He can head the ball. He's sort of a more physical presence, and he's got better movement in the box. So I would have preferred Che Adams to start. I predicted Adam Armstrong to start, but I didn't predict we'd have that much of the ball. So, I mean, I've got the stats here. 987 passes. Like, you take it, I think I saw it was like the 5th most passes in a game from a team or something like that, like top 10 or something. Like, Jesus, that's his first game. First game as manager, and we're producing that. I mean, I'm excited for the season, I can't lie. But now, obviously, there's some complaints from Southampton fans, as usual. Bazunu's not at fault for the goal, lads. He's not. Do you know why? I mean, you ready for this? Do you know why? Probably because he couldn't save it, because there was no fucking chance. If anything you want to blame on is our obvious defensive struggles with set pieces, and it's not just defensive, it's attacking as well. We've got one of the best set piece takers in the world, and the reason why we don't get many goals from set pieces is because we don't have anyone that can fucking header the ball, really. It's hard for just Ward-Prowse to connect with someone in the box. I think Lianco's probably our best, but obviously you don't want him passing out from the back, he's dodgy. But in terms of defensive set pieces, obviously we've not been good forever. And I mean, that goal was more down to a defensive issue rather than the goalkeeper issue. And I mean, if you don't think that, I mean, I can't convince you otherwise, but Bazunu's done nothing wrong so far, and he'll fit perfectly into the way Russell Martin wants to play with the possession. Very confident and comfortable on the ball. So in that regard, yeah, move past that. But obviously people saying, oh, we had 80% possession, blah, 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 and we only won 2-1, blah, 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 blah. It's like, brother, first of all, it's the first game. Obviously, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect system. There will be players that'll leave, players that will come in. It's not 100% done. As Russell Martin said, if you watch his interview many, many times, he's like, not even close to finish. This is not 100% what we want, blah, blah, blah. And that's understandable because literally it's been 5 weeks. You don't build a perfectly structured team with amazing possession stats and amazing final third creation in 5 weeks. All right, it just doesn't happen. So you've got to be patient in that regard. And obviously this is a good start. I'm more impressed with the way the players have sort of adapted to the new style. I'm very impressed by that. That's what really, stuck with me. But in terms of that, just relax, bro. It's not that deep. We're in the championship now. There's 46 games, a lot of games to be played. We're not going to win them all. We're going to have obstacles. We're going to have struggles. And you just got to get behind the team. Like, yes, obviously we've had shit years, and especially last year was horrible. But it's a new season, new manager, you've got new staff, we've got all these new things that are really ambitious and trying to get us back to the Prem and then try to push us even further from that. You've got to back them. You've got to give them time to develop it, and you've got to back them. Obviously, we've got a bunch of deadwood that we still want to get rid of before we can add to the squad because we've got about 30 players or something, or 25 players, which is ridiculous, right? And you need to trim that down a lot. And we can't trim it down until someone sells. And obviously Tino's going. Russell Martin did say potentially a right back may come in, but that's obviously, depending on whether they can get the player they want for the price they want. And obviously Walker Peters may leave, James Prowse may leave, Logan may leave. So there's a lot of changes that could happen in this team. You just got to back them. You just got to back the boys. But yeah, this was a great start. Obviously the only thing I would say is the final third execution was pretty poor a lot of the time. Like, the crosses weren't bad. There was no movement. And that's why I think Che Adams would have fit better instead of Adam Armstrong. Che Adams is a lot better, movement in the box, anticipation. So I feel as if Adams may have started that game, maybe would have been a bit more clinical and a bit more creative with our chances. Because Adams can obviously, head the ball as well and bring it down with his chest. But Adam Armstrong is very much a get-in-behind striker. He's not physical. He's not going to do much. And there's many times that Adam Armstrong tried to get in behind. He'll receive the ball and then instantly turn and lose it straight away. It's you can't do that when they're at the edge of the area. Like, you need that with space to be able to do that. And that's what we didn't have in behind. So I do feel like Adam Armstrong wasn't the choice, but definitely this season he could be quite useful. Obviously, he scored like 27 goals last time he was in the championship. So, there's all those things. But at the end of the day, I'm very impressed and I'm very excited football's back and I'm very excited to watch this team develop. Hopefully we can keep hold of a majority of our players, like our main players. And I'm excited to see a Dozy, especially because honestly, he was unreal. He rinsed the right back countless times. It's just that sort of, as we all know, Adozi's not the best with the final third, not the best with the sort of execution of crosses and stuff like that. But I feel like a majority of his crosses weren't bad. It was more the fact that there wasn't much movement to sort of connect with them. And so that's something that will develop over time. Obviously, the system's not finished. There'll be many things he wants to fix and iron out. And obviously, personnel changes as well will be coming. So, yeah. I mean, I'm impressed. I liked it. I'm just happy that we won a game. Obviously, it's been 5 months since we last won a game, so I'm pretty bloody happy. I do feel a little bit for Sheffield Wednesday fans. They must have been really frustrated with that last 10 minutes. I mean, you got 9 minutes added on. 9 minutes added on, you're down 2-1, you're thinking, yeah, we're going to push. To not even really touch the ball in that 10 minutes would have been infuriating as a fan. So I feel for you there. That would have been really triggering. It reminds me of like sort of a Man City sort of thing, where they're just sort of chilling at the end of the game and they're just passing it around, not really interested in sort of breaking your lines and attacking. They're just sort of keeping possession and the game management. And that's another thing that impressed me is the game management. I mean, shit, when was the last time you saw Southampton comfortably play in and around their sort of box and then in their half with players pressing them in the 90 whatever 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th minute, right? And you're now up 2-1. That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. But under Russell Martin, it does. So I'm excited. Obviously, we've got Gillingham, fucking whatever you say it. Got them next. This comes out there, so tomorrow, I think. I don't know. I want to do a watch long, but I don't think it's going to be covered. So I'm going to be live at the same time. Probably like playing FM or watching videos or whatever it is, and keeping sort of updates with the game. So I don't believe there's going to be coverage. Obviously, I'll try to get coverage if I can. But if I can't, then we'll just sort of like wait for updates, which sucks. I'm not going to go on an EFL rant and how stupid they are for not bloody broadcasting every single game, even though I'm making money. I'm not going to do that, but yeah. So that's going to be it for this video. I don't think there's much more I wanted to talk about. I'm just very impressed and excited to see where this goes. Obviously, definitely transfers are going to be in and out, so it's going to be a different team, obviously, throughout most of the season, but in reality, I'm very happy with the start. I'm very impressed with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. We could be cooking, but yeah, that's going to be a video. I appreciate you watching. If you don't watch, fair enough. I wouldn't listen to me for fucking 15 minutes anyway. Yeah, like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the live stream on Tuesday night around like 7:30. I think the game's at 7:45, so 7:30. And I'll see you there, and maybe we can get a bit of coverage going, maybe not. Yeah, we'll find out. But I appreciate hanging out, and I'll see you boys on Tuesday.